Today I'm going to be showing you how you can preserve your potatoes. That's because I have a lot of them and I don't want them to go to waste. So we are going to preserve them and fill our freezer as much as we can. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to make sure that your potatoes stay intact for months in your freezer. Hi there, my name is Emily Wamboi. You can call me Em, and this is Busy at Home. Thank you so much for joining me, and let's get to peeling these potatoes. So to peel my potatoes, I don't use a peeler. All I need is a sharp knife, my potatoes, and some clean water in a bowl. If you have been watching my videos for any length of time, then you know that I like to store away to make extra food so that I have another meal for another day. And when I got these potatoes, I thought every time I get so many potatoes, they either rot in my house or I end up giving up so many of them that in exactly 2 weeks later I don't have potatoes and I'm going back to the market. And I don't like that. I would prefer to be wise about what God gives me and then be able to have potatoes maybe for the next few months. So that's why this idea of preserving potatoes came to my mind. And it can be anything, like you can be preserving anything that you have in bulk, because planning is a good thing. In fact, the Bible teaches us to plan and to store away because we never know what is right ahead of us. There could be calamity coming or accidents or illness where we might not be able to have the abundance that we have right now. And it is just wise and prudent to plan for the future with what God has given us right now, whether it be time, money, or food. And as I was making this video, I kept on remembering the parable of the rich fool. Because sometimes if you're like me and you like to store away things, your heart can sometimes lie to you that I'm storing away these things because, they will give me safety for the future. And then you don't think about the fact that God is our ultimate provider. And the parable of the rich fool in the Bible in Luke chapter 12 from verse 16 to 21, this guy, he plans for the future and he stores away food and grain, and he says to himself, I have so much food, what do I do with it? And he says, good idea, I'm going to store away this food and I'm going to build larger barns and storages so that I can be able to put away this food. And God looks at him because he does not acknowledge God's providence for his life, and he tells him, you fool. He calls him a fool and tells him, you fool, your life will be required of you this night. And I pray that wouldn't be us, that yes, we'll plan for the future because planning is important, but that planning would not make us think that we are ultimately our own providers, that we are ultimately in charge of our own destiny. Whether you're saving or budgeting or storing away food like myself, I pray that our hearts would see that God is still the ultimate provider for us, even when you have food packed away in barns, because He is sovereign. All that food could go to waste even after you've stored it away. He is sovereign over all things. Also, we shouldn't think that just because we have all these things that now we can push God aside, that we can plan for our lives and look for money and save money and think to our minds, think to ourselves, now I don't need God anymore, because God is more concerned about our salvation than He is concerned about our providence. He wants our souls more than He wants full bellies for us. So I pray this for you, that you would remember that parable, but that you would also you'd remember Luke 12, but that you'd also remember those good verses about planning and saving, like Ecclesiastes 11 to Proverbs 12, 21, chapter 5, and even Proverbs chapter 6 from verse 6 to 8 talks about the ant. The ant that stores away in times of winter, so that in times of summer, so that during winter they have plenty of food. I pray that that would be you, but that you would not view those things as more important than your souls. Anyway, as we're continuing to preserve these potatoes, there are many ways that you can preserve your potatoes. I honestly think that if I had not done this, these potatoes would have gone bad within a few weeks, and so that's why I am making sure to put them aside, so that even if I give some of it away, that I'm not going back to the market to buy potatoes, because I wasn't prudent and wise to save what God had given me. And so I'm cutting these potatoes. These ones I will use for either I'll use both for mokimo and viazi karai, because viazi karai they'll be so much easier if I can just pull out some potatoes from the fridge and just fry them. And if you want to see that recipe for viazi karai and how I make them, please comment in the comment section down below and let me know what you would like to see. And if you're not going to be preserving potatoes like myself, it is always good to make sure that you keep your potatoes in a cool, dark place, the darkest place that you can find in your kitchen. Store them away so that they do not turn green and they don't start withering away. Also, make sure that you go through your potatoes every now and again, just to make sure that your potatoes, some of them are not rotting, because just one small potato will ruin a whole bunch of them. Also, did you know that you cannot freeze raw potatoes? Freezing raw potatoes will give them a chalky or a crumbly texture once they come out of the freezer, and they're not fun to eat. So either blanch them the way I've done and store them away, or you can make mashed potatoes or mukimo like myself, and this will store really nicely in the freezer for a very long time. So this, we're not going to be eating this today. I'm just going to store all of it away, and I know for sure that these are about 2 meals that I can have for another day. So if you haven't already subscribed to this YouTube channel, please consider doing so. I am very passionate about providing food for our families for a long period of time. So I am concerned with food security and meal security for our families, so that when times of calamity come, they do not find us at a bad place. So currently, as you can see from my belly, we are expecting our second child, and this whole season will be about storing away food so that we can be able to have food for postpartum. So I am looking to just fill up my freezer as much as possible. Hopefully we'll be able to get a deep freezer where I can put in lots of food. And in a few months, this next few months, I am going to be starting a challenge, and I want to call it Fill Your Freezer Challenge, so that I can fill my freezer and hopefully help you fill your freezer as well. Not only with just boiled beans and dengu and all that, because I know that's what we store in our freezers most often, but things that we actually enjoy eating, such that you can just pull things from your freezer and you know that you have them for a long time. This is called a freezer mate from Tupperware, and it is perfect for putting things in your freezer. And so if you want any of these Tupperware items, be sure to call the number down below. Until next time, bye-bye.